I've hired over 50 different people for my company over the past 3 years, and I've realized that the team is the biggest determining factor to success because you only have so much time in the day. You have to do the marketing, you have to do sales calls, you have to shoot content, you have to help your client, you have to manage your team, and so you only have so much time in the day. So that's why you need people to support you and help you grow your business. So in this video, I want to show you exactly who you need and at what stage to really maximize your growth. So let's go over why you need a team, the different stages of growth inside of your credit coaching business, and who will help you, what should they do, and how to find them. So I've been growing my own team for the past 3 years now. I've hired credit specialists, executive assistants, different editors, and I've had to hire, manage, and unfortunately fire in some cases, and I've learned quite a bit throughout the entire process. We've also created incredible onboarding processes to really train them up very quickly. We've found different ways to really manage the team effectively. So I want to break all this down for you, because when it comes to running your business, hopefully you're going to be growing as a CEO. And this is how you find out the different ways to really get the most out of your time so you can make the most amount of money, because that's the ultimate goal of the CEO mindset, is getting the most out of your time to only focus on tasks that make you the most amount of money. So when it comes to finding out how to actually build a team and what tasks to give them, well, this is the framework to follow. So number one, you want to find the different bottlenecks, the different problems that you have, your clients have, the time constraints that take up all of your time, and you want to solve them. So these are all things that are taking you away from growing the business, because ideally as a CEO, you want to be focusing on the overall marketing. You want to be focusing on getting more clients, improving the different processes inside of your business. So anything that's repetitive, anything that takes you away from those big level tasks is a problem. So we want to find out what those are. We then want to find the best way to do it, the best way, the fastest way to do it. And then ideally, if we can, we want to automate it, because that'll be in the background, it'll be the lowest cost and you'll have no human error. But if it's not possible to automate it, then you want to delegate it. Because as we go throughout this process, we're going to be finding out the different ways to solve problems like inquiry removal, right? So if you're doing inquiry removal, that'll be a bottleneck, because if you're doing this for your clients, that's taking up your time. We're going to try to find the best way to do it. We're going to solve it. We're going to figure out the best way to do it, the fastest way to do it. We can't perhaps automate inquiry removal, but we can't delegate it. So now I've found the best way to do that. I've created a training. I've handed it off to someone else. And so now I never worry about inquiry removal ever again. And so now my time focuses on higher level activities. And so that's why people like Jeff Bezos make so much money with the same 24 hours that you do, because he only does tasks that no one else can do. So that's the overall goal of the CEO mindset. We're going to be basically going through this process in a cycle. So once we solve the inquiry removal process, now we got all that time back. Now we're perhaps making content. We're focusing more of our time on content, but now maybe we're not getting the engagement we want. So now we're going to basically turn that into the next bottleneck. We're going to solve it, figure out the best way to do it. We're then going to perhaps automate some of the editing, maybe delegate some of the recording. And now we've gotten some of our time back to then focus on more higher level tasks again and again. So that's basically the overall goal. So once we get to the delegate stage, well, what does that actually look like? It doesn't really require a big team to grow your credit coaching business. We want to make this as lean as possible. I'm going to show you exactly which people really matter for each stage of growth here. So the first stage is really going to be the launch stage. So when you're 0 to 10K a month. So right now you have all the tasks in your business. You're doing the marketing, you're shooting content, you're hopping on sales calls, you're onboarding your clients, you're doing all the fulfillment for your clients, and you're also having to get the different latest strategies and updates when it comes to the credit repair strategies, which are always changing, as well as the funding strategies and data points, which are also constantly changing. So that's why you always need to be focusing on this as well. But when you're at this stage, I still recommend hiring someone which will become a virtual assistant, an executive assistant, someone that's going to help you with all the small, mundane, repetitive tasks. Because there's going to be a lot of things that you end up doing that really don't need your unique input. So things like maybe admin tasks, like sending your clients the onboarding documents or sending them a contract or maybe granting them access to different trainings, maybe checking up with your clients for payments. So following up on missed payments and sending invoices, perhaps posting content. So you might record the content, but they could create the scheduling, they could post it for you, they could respond to comments, and then basic client coordination. So this is someone that you can hire in the Philippines for very low cost, and you're gonna get so much time back because these are tasks that, again, don't really require any unique input from you, and so they're holding you back as time constraints. So right now, all of your time is getting sucked away from the marketing, the content, getting more clients, and it's stuck in these low-level tasks. So that's why we need to hire a virtual assistant as fast as possible, even at a lower revenue number, because you're gonna get so much time back to then focus back on the growth of your business and getting more clients. So very, very important here. And how do we actually find a virtual assistant, an executive assistant? We can go to a site called onlinejobs.ph and make this job post. So you can basically inspire yourself from what I have right here. This is the actual job post that I use. So I'm basically looking for someone that can, again, do my admin and operations, client prospect management, social media posting, inbox and calendar management, task and project management. I'm looking for someone with excellent English. Believe it or not, although we are hiring from the Philippines, we can get people with amazing spoken English because a lot of the workforce over there aspires to work for American companies. So their parents actually teach them English at a young age, and they have amazing accents. So excellent English, extreme attention to detail, proactive, organizational, and time management skills, reliable, etc. They need experience with social media, customer support, project management, funnels, and automations. So this is what I'm looking for. Someone that's got the basic experience when it comes to supporting a CEO. They have organizational skills. They can help me basically plug the different gaps in my business and help it run smoother in the background. And when it comes to different tips for resumes or different tips for the actual application process, I like to create certain kind of hurdles for them because there are a lot of people on onlinejobs.ph that just batch apply. So I use a keyword like golden doodle, which means that whenever they submit an application, they have to include that in the subject line or I just discard it. I ask them to attach their resume and then a short message. So if I don't have this in the application, I automatically discard it, and that's going to narrow down and eliminate probably at least half of your application, so only focus on the most important. So that's what we're looking for right here when it comes to an executive assistant. Most likely you can just hire them up for 20 hours a week, and that'll cost you at most $400, and you'll probably get back at least 20 hours of your time that you can then focus back on the higher level tasks that will matter to make you more money. So next here, what will become the next bottleneck? What will then become the actual fulfillment of your business? That'll become the thing that holds you back the most and takes you away from getting more clients. Because now that you're getting clients, you're at the 10 to 30K a month range, you're gonna be doing a lot of work for your clients. You're having to support them with their credit repair, supporting them with the actual funding process. If you're doing a done-for-you funding offer, that will quickly become a lot of work for you. So that's the next role that I like to hire, is a credit specialist. So this is someone that can do done-for-you credit repair, done-for-you funding applications, client support as well. So now you're going to start to delegate a lot of the fulfillment process so that now your focus goes back and raises to the acquisition of clients for marketing, content, sales calls, onboarding, support fulfillment. So basically managing this credit specialist and filling the gaps, and then still getting the latest updates and strategies for credit repair and funding. Because like I said, right now we're trying to basically move up what we do inside of the business to focus on the highest level tasks. And this will allow us to do that by having a credit specialist. And so when I try to hire a credit specialist myself, this is a job post. So I'm looking for someone that is going to have, again, excellent English speaking and writing, at least 1 year minimum experience working in the credit repair industry, because I don't want to teach them the basics about what's an inquiry, what's a late payment, how does a FICO score work, or just the basics. I do want someone that already has all those different points of knowledge acquired, and now I'm only going to train them up on my way of doing things for inquiries or for funding. So I want them to have experience in whatever credit repair software I'm using. If I'm doing done for you credit repair, organizational, decision-making skills, and then just basic employee things that I look for. Then how to apply, I want them to attach a resume and golden doodle in the application, same thing. So if you submit this, now you can hire someone that's got the industry experience. You can then train them up, and now they can do a lot of the work for you. So when we started to do this inside of my credit business, I was really stuck in the weeds when it came to helping my clients with a done-for-you credit repair, because we were offering that as an added bonus. So we were doing the inquiry disputes, we were sending the late payment dispute letters and all that. So I was doing a lot of work for that. And so when I hired someone, I got so much time back. And then my next bottleneck became the funding, because I was doing done-for-you funding at one point. And so that became a lot of work because we were bringing on quite a few clients, and I was having to sit down and submit these applications. So I was not able to post as much content, or I was having to block off my calendar from sales calls. And so it was limiting my growth. So what I ended up doing was hiring another credit specialist to then start to get more of my time back, focus on the marketing. So this is how you do that. All right. So at this stage right here, 10 to 30K a month, I'm hiring a credit specialist because that's the biggest bottleneck inside of my business at the moment. Because at the next stage, which is at the 30 to 50K per month range, that's when we hire another one. Okay. You might notice at this point that I have not delegated any of the marketing, because inside of your business, the sales is going to be really the last thing you want to delegate. A lot of people think that they want to delegate that as fast as possible because now they'll be able to make money passively in the background, which sounds fun and sexy, but that's big time limiting your growth, because whenever you're posting content, if you're running ads, if you're doing different kinds of marketing and showing up to your audience, they want to work with you. They don't want to work with whoever you're hiring for sales. So at a certain stage inside of your business, it will make sense to have someone for sales, because that becomes a bottleneck because you might have too many sales calls. But that's something that we want to hold off as long as possible. Right now, your marketing is not the biggest bottleneck inside of your business. The fulfillment is. So that's why at the next stage, when we start to get more and more clients, we want to simply hire another credit specialist, because right now, you're probably going to be doing a lot of the support, fulfillment, and filling up those gaps. So now you need someone else, because at this stage right now, you're starting to get a good clip of clients. You're probably close to 10 clients a month. That's going to become a lot of work. So now you need most likely 2 different people. And you might have noticed right here that we're still hiring a very affordable rate of team. My executive assistant only costs about $400 a month. Your credit specialist, you can provide different bonuses, different incentives, and pay them up to $1,200 a month. And these are great salaries, because in the Philippines, their average monthly income across the entire nation is $350 a month. So my executive assistant right here, she might be making $400, which is above the average. And then these credit specialists, I mean, they're basically rolling in it, because they make over 4 times the average, or just about 4 times the average. So this is the team that we have, very lean, mean machine right here, and we're getting great stuff done, because now we're delegating all the admin and repetitive tasks. We have the credit specialist basically doing most of the fulfillment. All you have to do now is the support for them if they have any issues or any problems, filling up any gaps if things change, for example, and providing them with the latest updates. That's everything for fulfillment, and you're still doing all the marketing yourself. So the next stage here is going to be the client success manager. So this will become someone that can manage your credit specialist team, because at this stage right now, you're still doing a lot of the support, you're troubleshooting problems, you're helping your team, and so that's still taking some time away. You're not actually in the weeds, but you are still having to focus on that. So when it comes to the next stage right here, 50 to 100K a month, now you're going to hire someone that becomes your client success manager. So 2 different ways to do this. One way is to promote one of your VA credit specialists into a client success manager, because they've been working with you, they've been running the business, and they know how to do things. You could basically pick out of the best 2 VAs you had before and promote them to then be a team lead, then hire someone new. Or you can hire someone from the US, for example, which will be kind of like your client-facing experience. They can be polished, professional. You can hire them even part-time, pay them very well, and they will do basically everything that's client-facing as well as team support. So they'll be doing the onboarding, which is something that you were doing before, bringing them on, which you don't have to do anymore. They will do the support fulfillment, which again, you were doing before, which you won't have to do anymore. They'll be able to manage the team, maintain KPIs, so key performance indicators. So if you have certain metrics you're shooting for, like inquiries gone within 2 weeks or submitting funding applications as fast as possible, as well as client support. So if your clients have questions, they will be the front line. Okay, so basically these credit specialists will be the ones running the entire fulfillment. If they have any issues, it'll raise up to your client success manager, and they should have the experience to troubleshoot these problems and provide solutions. And if they can't do it at that point, that's the only time it'll raise up to you. But in most cases, most of your fulfillment is basically entirely delegated. At this point, you're making 50 to 100K a month, and just about only 10% of that is going to your fulfillment team. So it's a very, very lean model. You're making a lot of money, and most of this work is being entirely delegated. So now the entire work, or the only work that you need to do, is going to be the marketing, the content, the sales calls, again, still you, the sales calls, and then the latest updates and strategies. And you can reach 50 to 100K a month with this lean team right here. The next stage is when you really start to blow this up, basically. Because at this point now, you're going to have more and more clients. So basically, you start to create pods of fulfillment. Okay, so you have your client success manager. Ideally, you want to have a pod for up to 3 people. So they are the ones managing this team, supporting this team, making sure they hit their numbers and they're doing a good job. If you do end up having even more work for this team and they're starting to get a little bit backed up, you could create a second pod as well. So basically, one more client success manager tree with more credit specialists below them. So that's one way to do that. But at this stage right here, I think 3 plus perhaps this one doing some of the work is more than enough. My admin assistant here is still helping and supporting. And now, only now, am I actually hiring a sales rep. So we've grown the company quite a bit at this point, and only at this stage am I actually looking to hire a sales rep. Because, like I said before, I want to hold off as long as possible because you're going to be the face of the company. You're the one showing up on the ads and the content, so people want to work with you. But at this point now, you're going to have so many booked calls because now you're having testimonials. You've been posting content for a while. You've been sharing all the great client wins, hopefully. And so now you have even more and more demand for sales calls. And so at this point now, you're going to move up to even higher level tasks, which might be hopping on podcasts, speaking engagements, just doing more and better content. And so the sales calls will become something that really holds up your time. So if you're doing about 150K a month and you're trying to sell out about an 8,000 per clip range, you're probably going to be looking at about 70 calls a month. And so if you're closing 18 clients, we usually charge or pay our sales reps about 500 per close. So they're making around 9,000 a month, probably working still about part-time. So they make good money. Everyone's making the income they're looking for. You have a pretty lean team. Now, the only things that you have to focus on will be marketing and content, which still, you're the face of the company. You're the brand. This is the highest profit model. If you really want to maximize your ad spend, is to become the brand. And the other part will become the latest updates and strategies because you still want to be tapped in to the changes happening in this industry because they're always changing. Credit repair ends up falling apart because people do it too often, so the credit bureaus get smarter, so you have to stay on top of that. Same thing for the banks when it comes to funding. The data points are always changing, so you have to be tapped into that. So you can't perhaps delegate this part. You can't really delegate that as well. So these are the only tasks you have to do at this point. And of course, do perhaps quarterly vision meetings, weekly check-ins with your managers. Okay, so you're only managing this manager right here and tapping into your sales rep. And now your company is ready for the next stage of growth. So we've just gone over how to build the team that will help you scale your credit coaching business to the next level. So now go back inside the video and find out what stage of growth you're currently at right now and what your team should look like so you can buy back your time to focus on the highest level tasks that will make you the most amount of money. And to find the very best candidates, you can use the exact job post that I shared inside of this video. But if you do want some more hands-on help from myself when it comes to hiring, training, and managing your team, we can do that inside of my Credit Coach Academy program. And to learn more about that, you can click on the link down below. Inside this program, we'll actually hands-on help you with finding the very best candidates, how to train them up with our own onboarding system so they know exactly how to do the done-for-you credit repair and done-for-you funding. We'll also provide you with our entire backend system, with the client portals, with the team tracking and all the KPIs to go with it. So if you want to learn more about that, you can click on the link down below. But even then, I hope this video was very helpful for you with understanding the mindset behind each stage of growth and why we hire who we hire. And so now you can take it away and hit that next level inside of your business. So thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.